previous lecture we have discussed about the basics and principle of the ECG, but in today's lecture we have started one of the most important topic of the cardiology, which is called arrhythmia. This arrhythmia, or this title, or this topic is made from two parts. One is A, without, the meaning of the A, without, the second meaning rhythmia. It means without rhythm, but it is impossible. It means heart doesn't have rhythm, but it is impossible that the heart does not have rhythm. Even when the SA node is damaged, or destroyed, or failed to discharge electrical impulse, there are some subsidiary pacemakers are electrically activated, and these start working. If the SA node is damaged, or destroyed, or failed to generate electrical impulse, there are some subsidiary pacemakers are electrically activated. They start working. So it is better to use the term of dysrhythmia than the arrhythmia. Right now, arrhythmia is made from two parts. One is A, another is rhythm. A, it means without rhythm, but it means heart doesn't have rhythm, but it is impossible that the heart does not have rhythm. Even when the SA node is damaged, or failed to produce electrical discharge, or fail to generate electrical impulse, there are some subsidiary pacemakers are electrically activated, or there are some latent pacemakers are electrically activated. These two subsidiary pacemakers, after the SA node which is activated, one of his venodal escape rhythm, another is ventricular escape rhythm. So and therefore it is very important to use the term of dysrhythmia than the arrhythmia. This was our topic. Definition of arrhythmia. A very simple and new definition for the arrhythmia. Disorder in impulse formation as well as in impulse transmission is called arrhythmia. A new definition for the arrhythmia. Disorder in impulse formation as well as impulse transmission, that is called arrhythmia. Or in other words, if there are abnormalities in regarding of rate and rhythm, this is also called arrhythmia. Why rate and rhythm? Because rate and rhythm go hand in hand during the interpretation of the ECG. Now, to identify the rhythm or to diagnose the rhythm, we need to have a rhythm strip. What is a rhythm strip? A rhythm strip is defined as a prolonged recording of the ECG just from one lead, especially lead 2. For diagnosis of the rhythm or for identification of the rhythm, we need to have a rhythm strip. What is a rhythm strip? A rhythm strip is prolonged recording of the ECG just from one lead. Even with a rhythm strip, there are some cases of arrhythmia which is not easily diagnosed. Even it is a challenge for an experienced cardiologist. Even with a rhythm strip, there are some cases of arrhythmia which are not easily diagnosed. So this is a challenge for even an experienced cardiologist. They also make a mistake. Even for so and therefore, in this topic, which topic? In the arrhythmia, you should pay attention about this warning sign. Warning sign. What is this warning sign? If you are in doubt about a patient's cardiac rhythm, don't hesitate to seek the medical advice. Did you catch this one? Since we have mentioned, there are some cases of arrhythmia which is not easily diagnosed. Even it is a challenge for an experienced cardiologist. So and therefore, when you are facing to some complicated case, you should not be hesitated. You should seek the advice of cardiologist without delay. Without delay. Did you catch this table? Yes. If you are in doubt about a patient's cardiac rhythm, don't hesitate to seek the advice of cardiologist. Without delay, you should seek the advice of the cardiologist. Because within a few seconds, the patient may go to cardiogenic shock and some other problem. That is why we should pay attention about this warning sign and we should not this warning sign. If you are in doubt about the patient's cardiac rhythm, don't hesitate to seek the advice of the cardiologist. So this term is very useful for those patients who have got arrhythmia as well as hemodynamic change. This term, especially for example, you are working in emergency room and you don't have more experience about the ECG. There is a patient that they have got arrhythmia and hemodynamically unstable patient. For example, the blood pressure was 90 or 80 or 50 or 60 and pulse rate is not palpable. This is a hemodynamic change. In such a case, you cannot make a decision. So you should consult with those people who are expert of the ECG, or you should seek the advice of the cardiologist very soon. This is why they say warning. This is if you are in doubt about the patient's cardiac rhythm, don't hesitate to seek the advice of cardiologist. Immediately you should consult with them, because if you give us chance, the patient will die. This is the warning sign. Now we will move to the classification of the arrhythmia. We have got different classification for the arrhythmia. The first one is regular versus irregular. Regular versus irregular. The second is tachy versus brady. And the third one, supraventricular tachycardia versus ventricular tachycardia. Narrow QRS complex versus wide QRS complex. Normal hemodynamic arrhythmia versus abnormal hemodynamic arrhythmia. Shockable arrhythmia versus non-shockable arrhythmia. So this was the classification of the arrhythmia. A regular versus irregular. Regular meaning the patient PQRST normal, there is no any arrhythmia is seen. This is called regular. This is a regular. This is a regular. But this one is irregular. So the first classification, regular versus irregular. The most example of irregular rhythm, atrial fibrillation. Tachy versus brady. When the heart rate is more than 100 beats per minute and the PV is approximately 2 and inverted lead AVR, this is called tachycardia. Right now we'll discuss about the bradycardia. If the heart rate is between less than 60 and the PF is upright in lead 2 and inverted in lead AVR, this condition is called bradyarrhythmia. Right now, supraventricular and ventricular tachyarrhythmia. This is anatomical classification. Supraventricular tachycardia started from the SA node, anatomically. Another supraventricular, right now we'll discuss about these types. First we'll start it from the SA node. Those arrhythmias which are related to the SA node. These could be explained here one by one. First, normal sinus rhythm. Normal sinus rhythm is a rhythm in which the heart rate is between 60 to 100 beats per minute. On the average, 72 beats per minute. The P wave is an upright in lead 2 and inverted in lead EVR. This is the criteria for the sinus tachycardia. Right now, we'll go to sinus bradycardia. Sinus bradycardia is a type of arrhythmia in which the heart rate becomes less than 60 beats per minute. And P wave is upright in lead 2 and inverted in AVR. This is called sinus bradycardia. The second, sinus tachycardia, sinus bradycardia, sinus arrhythmia. This is the physiological condition. During this period, the heart rate is changed during the inspiration and expiration. During the expiration, heart rate is increased, so the RR distance is decreased. During the expiration, the heart rate is decreased. The heart rate is decreased, and the RR distance is also increased. This was about the sinus arrhythmia. Sinus arrhythmia is a physiological condition during which the heart rate is changed during the inspiration and expiration. After the second, sick sinus syndrome. What does it mean, sick sinus syndrome? Sick sinus syndrome is defined as a collection of the impulse generation as well as conduction disturbances. Under the topic of the sick sinus syndrome, we should discuss about sinus bradycardia, sinoatrial block, and sinus arrest. These three conditions, if one out of these three or three of them together is produced by the SA node, this is called sick sinus syndrome. Sick sinus syndrome is defined as a collection of the generation of the impulse as well as conduction problem. This problem is related to the SA nodal function, and this is include three important things. One is sinus bradyarrhythmia, another is sinoatrial block, and the second sinus arrest. If one of them or one out of three of them or three of them together is called sick sinus syndrome. After the sick sinus syndrome, we'll move to after the SA node, we'll face to the atrium. Those arrhythmia which are explained under the topic of the arrhythmia. First, we'll discuss about the arrhythmia. Paroxysmal atrial tachycardia. After the atrial tachycardia, we have got to, according to the rate, step by step. First, paroxysmal atrial tachycardia. The second, flutter. And the third one, fibrillation. And the last one, AV or AV nerve. Sometimes they describe based on the around the junctional or junctional tachycardia. But in sometimes it is classified in the supraventricular arrhythmia. Again, which one part? Paroxysmal atrial tachycardia, the key ECG point. I will have a detailed discussion about these in one by one in our future lecture. Just right now I will introduce this one. Part, what is the part? The heart rate is more than 100 beats per minute and the key point, just the P wave is abnormal shape. 2. Paroxysmal atrial tachycardia, the heart rate is more than 100 beats per minute, but the key point, the P wave is abnormal shape. This was about the part. Flutter, the heart rate is between 200 to 300 and the key point, it is a sawtooth-like shape. Sawtooth-like. Fibrillation, the heart rate is more than 300 beats per minute and the RR distance is irregular or maybe the P is absent. AVR, atrioventricular intent tachycardia. It means it is this type AVR is originated around the AV node. The heart rate in both of them is 100 from 130 or from 150 up to 250 beats in cases of the AVR and AV nerve. The key point of the ECG, the key point, the P wave may be absent, the P wave may be inverted, or the P wave may be before QRS complex, or the Q wave may be after, or the P wave may be after the QRS complex, or the P wave is buried in the QRS complex. So this was AVR, atrioventricular reintent tachycardia, and AV nodal reintent tachycardia. The heart rate reached from 150 to 250 beats, and the AVR, the P wave may be inverted, may be buried in QRS complex, maybe before QRS complex, or maybe after QRS complex. Another one, right now we will come from atrium, we should come down. When we from atrium we should come down, we reach to the ventricle. What kind of arrhythmia ventricle is produced? First we take 3 consecutive VPC, as well as the heart rate is more than 120 beats. That is called ventricular tachycardia. What is accelerated ventricular? This is a typical type of arrhythmia which is seen in cases of the infarction. And the heart rate is at the range of the 120 beats per minute. This is a benign case, there is no specific therapy. This is accelerated ventricular. This is a benign case, it does not need any specific therapy. Tour-Surdis point. Tour-Surdis point, this is also represent polymorphic ventricular tachycardia. This is called Tour-Surdis points. Another ventricular flutter. Ventricular flutter, the heart rate may be up to 300. And finally, ventricular fibrillation. This was about the ventricular fibrillation and ventricular tachycardia up to 250 or 300 and ventricular fibrillation more than 300. Right now, another type of arrhythmia is conduction disturbances. Conduction disturbances. Under the topic of conduction disturbances, we will start it from the SA node. What kind of conduction disturbances we will see in the SA node? First degree SA nodal block. First degree. You shouldn't confuse with the AV nodal block or heart block. This is related to the SA nodal block. First degree SA nodal block. First degree SA nodal block in the ECG is not seen anything from the SA nodal block. Second degree SA nodal block. The second degree SA nodal block, just one beat or one entire beat is missed. What does it mean? One is beat, another is entire beat. In the second degree, one PP plus QRS complex is not present. But in the second beat, the expected time and expected place for the second beat would be pointed. Second degree SA nodal block, first degree SA nodal block, second degree SA nodal block, and third degree SA nodal block. Also call this cardiac SA nodal arrest. This is just to reach a long gap. This was about the first degree SA nodal block, second degree SA nodal block, and third degree SA nodal block or sinus arrest. After the SA node, we will come to the AV node in the Brady arrhythmia. We have got first degree AV nodal block. First degree AV nodal block just characterized by prolongation of the P or interval. The second degree AV nodal block, it is divided in two types. One is type 1, another is type 2. In type 1, periodic lengthening of the QRS, periodic lengthening of the QRS complex. Finally,
One
peak or one QRS complex. One beat is missed.
One beat is missed.
Not entire beat.
Yes.
You have got PV, but you do not have got
QRS.
QRS complex. This is the differences between the synovial block and AV nodal block. So it's AV nodal block is divided in three types. One is first degree AV nodal block. The second degree, and which type 1 or 2 are easily type 1 and type 2, and the third one complete heart block. In complete heart block, atrium contracts their own rhythm and ventricular is contracted by their own rhythm. The atrial rate is constant, but the ventricular rate is different. Another after the or then we'll be discussing about the after the AV node when you come to bundle branch. This is a right bundle branch, and this is a right bundle branch, and this is the left bundle branch. So there's a different in the cases of the LBB. The QRS complex looks like W in lead 1 and M shape in lead 2. And in right BB, we will see M shape in V1 and W shape in V6. This was about the anatomical classification of the arrhythmia. But each of them should be individually discussed. For example, we started from the sinus rhythm. What is the sinus rhythm? Sinus rhythm, you have more than 3 or 4 pages just they have mentioned about the sinus rhythm. This was a small or short overview about the general information about the rhythm. Now arrhythmia, what does it mean arrhythmia?